welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to come and share just a few healthy tips for parents during this stressful time of our pandemic where many of us are staying at home and you have your children at home. So first I want to just remind you that frustration and even anger is normal, and it happens when you're cooped up together and you don't get out. It's good to have activities. It's good to make a schedule through the day, but also schedule yourself some breaks, even if it's just on a nice day hanging out in the yard, having something to drink, and just some quiet time away from the kids. It's also good to schedule some things for the kids to do in their own room, and it could be working on their lessons, or you can give them a paper and pencil activity that they need to write about. And it's nice to keep it positive, but if you run into a situation, which most have and most will at some point, of your kids being angry about what's going on, or you see some frustrations building, that would be a great time to give them a pen, piece of paper, pencil, and ask them to, you can ask them in a very polite way to do you a favor to go to their room, have some quiet time, and then write about their frustrations. And they may choose to not share it, but it would be good for you to see that they did actually follow through, and it would help them to focus on a very practical situation, and it gives them the chance and the opportunity to think about what's going on, because the space that we need our kids to learn is from the emotion of feeling frustration, anger, rage, those things that happen in life. We need them to know that space between that happening and then what they choose to do, the physical response of what their choice is the most important space that you can give them. And what we want them to do is to think through that spot. Sometimes you can tell them so many times over and over, but often what seems to really make a difference is to allow them the time, the space to think through that spot. And you may have several of those opportunities, and it's a perfect time for calming down. Giving them something to do will help teach them about journaling. And then for other positive activities, you could schedule in a time each day of writing about their favorite activity, or their something that's very positive and will spark some excitement. And usually it's a chance to get to learn a little bit more about what they really, really enjoy. So hopefully they will share both their writings with you. But if they choose not to, maybe you can just let them know that you just want to glance to see that it's done, where you're not reading it and they're wanting their privacy. My recommendation is to respect that. I've been a teacher for over 30 years, and I've found that, of course, we want them to respect us, and we are their parents. But a lot of the really positive ways to teach that is to also respect them as people. That yes, they're going to have some of these feelings. That's part of learning how to make good choices in life, and also it helps to balance out what those feelings are and use positive writing experiences. Maybe they have a favorite book Depends on what grade level they're in. Or maybe they want to write their own story. Maybe they have some ideas. You might give them a choice. Children really love the power of choosing. It helps them to feel like, you can write down 3 things that, like, hey, which topic would you like to write about today? And that's part of their alone time in their room. And obviously, if they don't do what they're told to do and the amount of time that's given, then a natural consequence would be to send them back to do it again. And you may have to do that several times. And they may have to miss times that they would have liked to play a game on the computer, or just you'll know what you'll have some good ideas of what you can do, and trust yourself. Just remember that they're young people, and they will grow up to be adults, and they will learn how to act and behave by so much more of what they see and what you do as compared to a lot of what's said. And obviously we do want to talk about each situation with them, but you've got to be able to follow through and be an example. And also, just for you, your own mental health, make sure you still exercise. Make sure you go out and get some fresh air. If the kids want to do some stretching with you, and allow them to do that if you're feeling up to it. If you're not, ask them to move to a different part of the room, or ask them to do stretches in their room. Give them some ideas of maybe some sit-ups and push-ups, and let them chart it down, because anytime you can get them to write something practical on a piece of paper and to keep a track record. Maybe they could, if they're young, let them draw a picture of themselves doing some exercise, even if it's jumping jacks. They may enjoy drawing that. They may enjoy coloring it or painting it. So it's good to have some fun activities that they can do with a notebook, or just several pieces of paper that you have ready. Just make sure that you prepare as best you can for their homeschooling activities. And remember, if you're not a teacher, you're not a teacher, and you haven't been trained to do that, and that's okay. But you can find resources. We're here for you. I can refer you to many people that can give you some awesome advice. So these are just a few jumping off points to think about, because it's normal during a crisis time, when worried about getting out, everybody washing their hands, all of these things, making sure that they don't pick their nose. I mean, something very, or put their finger in their mouth. Some kids, even little ones, just really want to suck their thumb or something. And that's something we have to be very diligent about. But it can be done. So stick with it. Realize that everything's not going to be a success, and that's okay. It's a learning experience. You can even ask them to problem solve some ideas, which they really like to do. Feel like they're a part of the family if there's a situation. And the last point I wanted to share is board games. Research shows that when the family gets together and plays, probably it's better to have a non-competitive where there's a big time winner and everybody else feels awful. But there's so many games where you get to learn about each other, and I can share some of those. There's also an app for that. I will put that in the link, and it will show you give you some ideas of questions that each person asks, and then you all get to write down what your answers are, and you keep, you keep points, but it's exciting to actually find out what some of the things that they're thinking about. You learn more. Everyone learns more about each other, and so that's a fun activity. If you're working on something like math, there's some good card games for that. Something, even Uno, which is probably not the best, but it's still something that you're all sitting down playing. And remind each other to say kind things, and when if their behavior becomes unacceptable, remove them from the game. Have them sit in another part of the room and just watch. That's what helps them to learn that, okay, when we're together in a group, we act a certain way. And that's important. It's going to help them build their skills for school. Because basically, some of the most important skills that they need to be successful in school is to learn how to make friends and be kind to each other, and avoid those throwing a fit to get their way. Some of those things that kids just do sometimes. So the way that you choose to deal with it makes all the difference in the world. And thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon. I noticed that Ginger, my, often Aki, my bird, will sit on my shoulder or I'll hold her. But my lab, Ginger, she hopped up on the bed and I thought she was going to get to be in the video. So maybe she can come. Ginger. Hey, Ginger. Oh, you can see her there. Here's what I'll do. I'll just move the camera. Hey, girl. Hey, girly. Oh, she's already taken a nap. Maybe hard to see her over there. Either I'm in the way. Hey, Ginger. She's laying her head over on the pillow. Yep, she's out. She's an older girl, and it's important for her to get plenty of rest, and she does rest more these days. So, I look forward to seeing you again soon. If you have any questions, leave comments below. Thanks for liking it to let me know I can do more of these and kind of touch on several different topics as we go along. This is sort of an overview. Okay, stay well, and we're going to make it through this. Love you guys. Bye-bye.